50 Cent says he gave the BMF family $5 million legal dollars, so he does not understand where the money went, how Lil Meech blew it before Big Meech got out of jail, but he feels extremely betrayed after that picture got taken between Big Meech and Rick Ross after he got out of jail.
I looked at it like, from that point, maybe 50 should have brung a bag for Meech and maybe a watch or something. Because obviously that's what Ross did or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I had in mind.
But look, 50. Boy, I see you struggling making that G-Unit film studio out there in Louisiana where that cheapest land at. You thought you was gonna be able to do it. You thought you was gonna be able to get them loans, and it ain't. What's wrong? What's taking so long?
Lil Meech didn't just betray 50 Cent, he allegedly ran off with $10 million and teamed up with 50's biggest enemy to do it after years of backing him, mentoring him, and even paying for his rehab. 50 was left blindsided by the ultimate double cross now, with Rick Ross in the picture and private texts being exposed to 50 Cent. Well, have to do things the hard way before the betrayal. There was a bag and 50 handed it to them. When 50 Cent tapped Demetrius Lil Meech Fennery Jr. to play his own father, the infamous Big Meech, in the Starz series BMF, it wasn't just casting, it was a whole life-changing blessing. Lil Meech wasn't an actor, he was trying to get on as a rapper. Nobody in Hollywood was giving him a shot, but 50, he saw something bigger. He sent the kid to acting school for 2 years, paid for it all out of pocket, and molded him into a TV star. That alone would be enough, but 50 didn't stop there. Behind the scenes, he was wiring money to the family. According to Fifth, he helped them secure over $5 million in clean legal money, the kind of money they could build a future. But this wasn't just a gig. 50 had bigger plans, spin-offs, films, multi-season arcs. If everything went right, the BNF brand was poised to make $30 to $50 million over time. And for a family whose empire had once run on the streets, this was the chance to legitimize it all. Meanwhile, Big Meech watched from behind bars as his son rose to fame, his name back in the spotlight, but this time on prime time. And the man responsible, not a lawyer, not a homie, not a rapper, a businessman, 50 Cent, he kept the BMF brand alive, made a household name, and positioned the next generation to eat. But that's not all, because 50 didn't just keep things going, he stayed humble about it. For years, he downplayed his role, never asked for public credit, never flexed about the money he spent until now, because things changed and people are wondering why 50 is so bothered over some lost money. The biggest theory is that he was really counting on it. Even Rick Ross knows 50 is struggling.
50, who own your masters? Who own your masters? I'll buy your masters. You better shut up. I will buy your masters.
He didn't stop there.
But look, 50. Well, I see you struggling making that G-Unit film studio out there in Louisiana where that cheapest land at. You thought you was gonna be able to do it. You thought you was gonna be able to get them loans, and it ain't. What's wrong? What's taking so long? I know you wanna make your mama one of them walking stars thing put down there. Your mama live, nigga. Call her own walking star.
He really hit him where it hurts.
Call it renderings. You had the renderings, then you try to go get them loans, and ain't nobody loan you that money. You ain't even built the G-Unit studio yet. That might be why when I stood next to Meech, your knees buckled. Your knees buckled. Put your back against the wall. You're hustler.
The shift came after Big Meech got released from prison in October. The man who built one of the biggest drug empires in U.S. history was finally free. Everyone expected a 50 and Meech reunion, a press tour, some photo ops, maybe even a co-produced BNF documentary with the real man himself. But what happened next? It shocked everybody, including 50. Meech didn't pop out with 50, he popped out with Rick Ross. It's the same Rick Ross who's been 50's sworn enemy for over a decade. And it wasn't just a handshake or a chance meeting at some industry party, they were doing full-on promotions. Car shows, a welcome home concert. Meech was on Instagram, posing with Rose, like they were day ones. No shout out to 50, no thanks, no acknowledgement, nothing for 50. This wasn't just betrayal, this was disrespect. And it was calculated. He didn't say anything at first. But if you know 50, you know that silence doesn't mean peace. It means he's loading the clip. But where did the money go? Because it's not in the family's bank accounts. 50 says he helped the family secure over $5 million from the show Legal Legitimate Money. He literally wrote, "Why old boy didn't look out for me," and sent him to acting school. Big screech, all your people that was out did nothing for him. You come home thinking you the black Pablo Escobar, and fed him up. I helped your family make over $5 million legit dollars. It's not my fault it's all gone. You think people don't see you want to shine. So bad you wearing the baby's jewelry. B, give the baby back his jewelry. And yet, somehow, Big Meech was broke Lil Meech too. He is so broke that he is literally selling promo videos for $500 a pop.
Today I'm coming to tell all my supporters, you're a business owner, entrepreneur, wherever you got, to make you go up, hit me right now.
And 50 couldn't wait to clown him. He hopped on Instagram and posted Big Screech got Meech doing promos, $500 a pop. Get you one while it lasts. But wait, 50 wasn't done, not even close. Just when you think he's tapped out of disrespect, he hits post on a whole GoFundMe. Yes, a GoFundMe for who Big Meech. Now, let's be real, there's a 90% chance 50 made it himself just to be petty, because that's exactly his brand of chaos. But regardless of who made it, 50 posted it, and the internet lost its mind. The GoFundMe straight up claimed Meech needed help paying his bills, allegedly a $30,000 a month erm, and 50 added his own messy little caption, help Big Screech pay his $30,000 a month erm. That's one of P's cribs. Shout out to quality control. And 50 wasn't done there either. He spun the block again, this time dragging 42 Dog into the mess. 50 posted that Dog allegedly gave Big Meech $100K and said, "Your daddy, my ninja, you made a mistake giving Screech $100,000. You could have given that to your ninjas. You've always been hard-headed." And of course, Dog clapped back on IG, standing 10 toes down for Meech and Detroit. Can't no ninja convince me to go against Detroit. Either show me Big Bra a rat or shut the f up talking to me. But how does a kingpin with a hit TV series under his belt end up begging for rent money? Tony Yeo gave us a clue in an interview. He said that after Meech got out, he was literally asking Lil Baby for a handout.
Murder sitting in the backyard and you like, yo, little baby ain't give me no money. He came in a Ferrari truck, he had the Ferrari truck, he had 4 pockets full. I'm looking at this nigga like, yo, this nigga tripping. Like, little baby he's not obligated to give you nothing.
He was even complaining that his son wasn't helping him financially. Now let's talk Lil Meech, because he's not exactly helping the situation.
He was with 50, he's talking about stuff in the future, he made your family money, you know. You would think you would be a little bit appreciative, but motherfuckers don't have to be loyal to 50 in business. That's how I guess that's how Meech felt, because he's his own boss. You know, but when you take Little Meech and you put him in acting school, you know, you take him from Detroit. I remember him rapping when he was rapping and nobody was helping him from what I seen. Because I remember when Lil Meech was rapping. Nobody helped him, and then 50 put him in acting school, kept it on the low, and he made all this money. You understand what I'm saying? But to be young and have money is...
According to Tony Yo, Lil Meech is blowing through money like he's allergic to savings. $100,000 on Chrome Hearts jeans, $500,000 on a BMF chain, like sir, your dad is struggling to pay rent. And you're out here with designer denim and Richard Mille watches, and then have the nerve to get salty when 50 unfollowed him. It was giving broke with money. Yeo didn't hold back.
That was like a bad management move, but from the streets, they're gonna do what they want to do. And 50's crazy. All that, y'all. 50's crazy. So, and then on Meech, and I look at that was bad management too, because we just was over there. We just took a picture with you at your house. But I felt like when we left there, it was a money thing, because what Lil Meech said about...
There were rumors that 50 was pissed, not because they spent the money, but because they spent it recklessly. There was no plan, no investment, no stacking for the future.
If 50 Cent gives your family, you know, $5 million in cash, whether it's through acting, I think he was paying for acting lessons for Lil Meech, you gotta have some appreciation. And, you know, before more details unfolded, like $5 million, because people were like, oh, 50 Cent doesn't pay people. He's always suing people. Look how he paid Ghost from Power less than Mary J. Blige on Power Book. But if Little Meech got $5 million and he's nobody except the son of somebody famous, then he definitely could have treaded carefully with his record.
So just when you thought 50 was done-eating Lil Meech, he hit the final boss level of petty word on the street. Is 50 bought the halfway house Meech is legally required to stay, and that means Big Meech, who once ran $1 billion empire and had everybody from rappers to politicians shook, is now allegedly paying rent to 50 Cent. And of course, 50 being 50, he didn't let that slide quietly. In an interview, he straight up grinned and said, "Business is business. I'm put that ninja on toilet duty." cleaning up Falonish all day, so technically Meech might be out of prison, but he's not free in the slightest and fans are eating it up. One said, 50 is a real savage and has always stood on business, nothing but respect to him. And this is the greatest burn I have ever heard. 50 makes my whole month, but not everybody is buying the story. Some people think this is pure 50 trolling. And cap this story right here is complete and utter. According to this man, Meech might not even be in a halfway house.
As we know, Meech didn't actually leave for the halfway house. He's on home confinement because of the First Step Act and winning his 821 motion in federal court. After spending nearly 20 years in federal prison, Demetrius Big Meech Flannery left the federal prison in Coleman, Florida, Coleman Low, on October 15th for home confinement. Now, before you say I don't know what I'm talking about, it says right here that he's in the RRM in Miami. He's actually on home confinement. It says RRM because the RRM, or the halfway house, or really the re-entry manager, is administering his home confinement in Miami through the halfway house that's owned by dismissed.
But then again, this is 50 Cent. We're talking about the man lives for trolling and has the money and spite to make the wildest moves look possible. Now Lil Meech made it crystal clear where his loyalty lies. He hopped on Instagram saying, before I asked God for anything I made, sure, I asked him to bring my father home to my family. My prayers were answered. I love you, Dad. Death before dishonor. Now that last part was a warning. He was done playing middleman. He was Team Meech Sr. to the grave. And what's worse, it looked like they were now trying to milk the BMF name with Rick Ross, the one man who'd never done a thing to keep the brand alive. When your enemy becomes your new best friend, that's when it gets personal. Ross wasted no time. As soon as Big Meech came home, he slid in like a snake, started planning a welcome home concert, got Big Meech to co-sign, and rolled out promo like it was the return of the real. But let's be real, this wasn't about a concert. Ross saw an opening. He offered Meech a little check and used him as a pawn. It wasn't real love. It was strategy. It was spite, and 50, he saw right through it. And then there's another person 50 doesn't love, and that's Floyd Mayweather. You all remember this video.
Look at the computer say, Floyd said, Nelly 50. I'm like, what did he say me for? Nelly your first baby mama, Melissa, then took your fiance. Say that.
So when Lil Meech pulled up to Lucky Strike Miami with Floyd Mayweather and Rose, we knew he really hit 50 where it hurts. But that's not all. Meech wasn't just there for fun. He actually came through with an exclusive merch drop from his Red Letters X1's collab and gifted Mayweather some pieces. To make things worse, Big Meech made a surprise cameo via phone, chatting it up with Ross and Floyd like they were old friends. Then Floyd brought Lil Meech car shopping. They had time for some jewelry shopping too.
Dad, one life. Dad, happy birthday, champ. That's one piece. One money team.
They played some arcades. At last, they ended up at a Lakers game while they kicked it in LA. Now you already know 50 doesn't play when it comes to loyalty, and seeing Lil Meech hanging with two of his biggest ops that set him off, he wasted no time clowning the situation, posting a video of Meech with Ross joking. He said, "You tell your pops I'm a lookout. What's the address? I'm going to send some wings over there." But of course, 50 deleted it shortly after, like he always does. But you know this hit deep. 50 didn't just fund Lil Meech's career, he might have saved his life. According to 50, Lil Meech wasn't just blowing money, he was blowing up on set. He wrote, "I thought about it. I think he was uncomfortable with me and Mimi's relationship. I'm telling Mimi I don't want him doing drug. He's telling him he used to do X like it's cool. I tell Mimi she'll stop spending all your money." He telling him how much money he blew. People don't know I had to send Minnie to rehab. Then 50 got into the messy details, alleging that Lil Meech showed up high on set so bad that everyone noticed. Russell Hornsby peeped he was high as on set. He started throwing up at a weapons test. Then Ian told me the little ninjas had whippets in his truck. I said, what the is whippets? I look at said that being baby guns. To drive the point home, 50 even posted a video of Jan Deal co-signing his claims about Meech behavior.
Dude's gonna do right by him and give him a bag and help him out and stuff like that. And he end up being in the same spot and probably worse right now. Because just say this, man. Just say if he would have held his head with 50 now, right? I don't know if 50 would have fucked with him, but 50 would have been like, yo, Tammy, leave that alone, ma. Don't put that on that dude. You know what I'm saying? And 50 wouldn't have been behind it. The only reason this shit grew the way it grew against Meech is because 50 was behind.
It seems 50 Cent said he sent the kid to rehab, quietly paid for everything, never told the press, never made it public. He wanted to protect him. But now that loyalty had been thrown out the window, 50 was done protecting anyone. The moment he realized he'd been played by the whole family, he lost it. Then 50 hopped on Instagram again to throw another punch, but this time he brought receipts and a familiar name. He posted a photo of Tammy Cowens, who you might remember as Big Meech's former business partner. 50 also dropped a screenshot of a text exchange with Tammy where he directly asked, did Meech know she was allegedly cooperating while he was locked up? Her response, yep. And the caption read, Tammy Cowens, the truth, and promised nothing but the truth coming soon. But in case anyone thought he was done, he attached those words to another carousel of BMF stills. But get this, he blurred out Lil Meech's face in every single one. Literally scribbled out the lead actor of his own show, like erasing an X. If that's not peak 50 Cent energy, I don't know what is. In some other now deleted IG posts, 50 shared texts from Lil Meech. In them, Meech Jr. begged for forgiveness, saying, they just told me you unfollowed me off Instagram. Now you're mad at me when I would take the shirt off my back for you. I can't believe this, man. You act like I'm your enemy. I've only shown you love and loyalty. I go through my own struggles, but I never switched up on you. Then he mentioned his dad, saying something along the lines of, he gave my dad some money so he could cover his bills until our next season starts. This internet stuff is throwing me off. You know me in real life. But for 50, it was too late. He clapped back with, what next season, little man? Fans took that as confirmation that BMF was done, and maybe so was Lil Meech's career. Because you can't make money with someone you don't trust. And Big Meech made it crystal clear where his loyalty lies. What if this wasn't just betrayal? What if Big Meech was sabotaging his own son? That theory is gaining traction, and it's not as far-fetched as it sounds. At first glance, it looked like classic industry drama. 50 being petty, Ross being slick, and Big Meech just trying to secure his post-prison bag. But if you zoom out a little, this doesn't seem like it's really about 50, Ross, or even BMF as a brand. This might actually be a low-key father-son conflict disguised as a label war. Some fans think Meech did all this out of jealousy, that unhealed parent energy where your child's success feels like your failure. Instead of being proud, you feel replaced. And so, you act out, and in the process, you burn bridges your child still needs to cross. That's the saddest part. This could have been a redemption arc, a father and son empire. But instead, it's starting to look like the fall of a dynasty. A man came home and tried to outshine the son who kept his name alive. And in doing so, he dimmed both their futures. With 50 out, BMF is hanging on by a thread. Starz hasn't confirmed another season, and 50 has already hinted that this might be the last. Meanwhile, Rick Ross can't legally touch a BMF film minus 50 owns the rights, and the damage may already be done. But the big question is, did Lil Meech really betray 50 for $10 million? Or was this a setup from the beginning, with Big Meech pulling strings from behind bars? Was this all one big betrayal masked as loyalty, or did 50 back the wrong person from the start? Let us know what you think. And if you're ready for more raw, unfiltered tea, watch our next video. This story is far from over.